Alright, hello!
Hello! Hello!
Alright, again, we're the only people watching live, but these go up on YouTube, so for posterity's sake, I am Digi.
I'm Kier.
Alright. Oh, I forgot to mute the fucking window. Okay.
Alright, well, now we know.
Alright, I have the. I'm back to my 2-monitor setup so I can actually watch, like, make sure the stream is working. Well, the sound's working, so we got that going for us.
Alright.
Now introduce yourselves.
I'm Kier.
I'm Ty. We're back by popular demand. Back from Gen Con.
I made that joke already.
Yeah, I think you have.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yes, last week I had work. These guys were at Gen Con, and all we managed to do was fix bugs in the code last week. So,
yeah. So this will be much more.
This will be a much more interesting week because there wasn't one last week.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. So anyway, one of the things I got done this week is articles are now loadable, and I should switch to the actual code thing so people can see. Yeah, articles are now loadable in XML. So Hitboxy has these now, and then we're going to make one for 0. So first things first, we actually have to physically make the articles folder.
So what are articles?
Articles are basically any sprites that are created on, like, in not part of the fighter itself.
Okay. So not ones you personally put into the.
Well, so like, for example,
projectiles, right? Those are
like projectiles, the little splash thing for Zero's forward smash is currently an article.
Gotcha.
Like the shine, like it's any sprite that a character generates.
Yeah, that doesn't have.
That isn't itself.
Yeah.
Is the sword an article? I wasn't sure.
The sword isn't an article, but I could make it an article and actually fix a lot of some of the animations.
The charge smash is an article, right? Like just shoot the huge.
Yeah, like the little splash thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But and then it can also cover things like, you know, a little graphic, like the little dash, like the dust thing whenever he dashes, which I could put in.
Yeah. So currently the sword, for instance, is a hitbox.
Well, it's okay. So let me bring up some visual aids. Let's see here. So, so right now, this is the sprite. This is the fighter. These are loaded. The fighter changes, whatnot, all of that, and then this is an article. This is not the fighter itself. This is created by the fighter. It belongs to the fighter, but it is not actually part of the sprite. So this means this article doesn't need to be the same, like, sprite width. It doesn't need to use it. It can follow its own rules. Yeah, it doesn't need to be the same size. It doesn't need to have like a name prefix. I don't need these hitboxy ones around anymore.
Oh. So yeah, that should make things easier then.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is what you're going to be using for like the projectile, for instance?
Yes. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to make the articles XML file. And where's text document? There it is, text document. Alright, and then because right now he's got his charge splash thing. So let's just convert this one real quick. What did I name that sprite? I could just see it right here. Yeah. How long is this? .24 frames. So it's just like making an action, except with a couple of differences. So like this one, I put in the width of the image, which is 160. And then I'd also give it an origin. Is it just origin or origin point? Origin point. And this is, it's indexed from the center, just like the hitboxes are.
Alright.
So then this would be 40 and then minus 10. Just converting this here.
Gotcha.
And then there's also a facing direction. Let's see, that would be, or is it default facing? There we go. So I just programmed this, so I don't know the I don't have the nomenclature memorized yet. And then this one, you can say whether the actual sprite itself is facing to the left or the right, or if it doesn't matter. So, like, right now, I have... It's not the one.
When would it not matter?
If it's, like, symmetrical.
I see, like,
and it
if it's
doesn't
like a
need to
spin
flip.
slash, for instance.
Well, if it's, like, think of it if it's, like, a perfect circle. Then you don't need to flip it based on which direction it's going.
Like a reflector, kind of? Or?
Well, no, I mean,
okay.
if it's a symmetrical sprite.
Oh, yeah.
Like, let's say Mega Man's lemons.
Sure.
They're symmetrical.
Yeah.
If you were to flip them, you wouldn't be able to tell.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like this one here, you can see that it is facing to the right.
Uh-huh.
But if the actual sprite itself were to the left, I would be able to use this, set it to -1, so that it knows that the default state of it is to the left.
Yeah.
So if it's going to the right, you need to flip it.
Alright. Makes sense.
Yeah. And then it takes sub-actions just like, like actions do. So let's give it a setup. Actually, I don't think I need to. This one is just an animation. The hitbox is actually owned in the action.
Alright.
This one is just setting some ownership and whatnot. I don't think I actually need to do that.
Have you converted any of the other articles yet, or just?
Yeah, I've got all the hitboxes are converted.
Cool.
So I actually just need to do. So let's do. Oh, I forgot the sprite rate. 4. And then I realized this is just an animation basically, so this is done. That's all we have to do.
Cool.
Everything else is automatically handled by the article handler, so like flipping it if it's facing the other way, deactivating it on its last frame, setting its center point and whatnot, doing all of that. Actually, there is something I should do, so that'd be frame. And that is recentering. It should be. What is it? Recenter on origin. That way, if you're like on a moving platform or something and the fighter moves during it, this will stay with them.
Okay, yeah.
And then to actually load the articles, you just give it that new tag in the fighter XML here, and then you just point it to this. And so if I test it out, then we should be good. It should be it does not deactivate itself.
That's a cool idea for a character then.
Well, no, there's no hitbox on it. It's just an animation.
Oh man, because how fun would that be if just like setting up like a comic where you just have like 5 of those on the board?
Alright. It should deactivate itself when it ends.
There's a question of how many
can you do
before you start slowing down the game too much?
Well, with one fighter, probably a lot, but with more fighters, significantly less.
This is great, actually.
This is actually pretty fun.
And
they're all facing the same way.
Yeah. Even the ones that are facing, like, facing...
No, I haven't, like, I've been able to put all of these up, all facing the same way, so now...
Well, flip it. Oh, shit, yeah. Oh, this got real.
It's getting confused trying to draw them over each other is the thing. Also, the positioning seems to be wrong.
Well, yeah, it's still, I remember it was been doing that for a while.
Yeah. It looks like the stage is being, like, bombarded.
Yeah.
This game, okay, so yeah,
it's a little slow.
Down a little bit. I think this game can run a lot of stuff at once. It's actually pretty.
So the thing about the game is that it's actually like heavy CPU dependence.
Right.
Like
you've got a good enough computer.
Like my CPU is great, but a lot of the almost all of the calculations are done on the CPU and not the graphics card. So unless you have a high-end machine, it actually doesn't run that well. Or at least a high-end CPU.
That's something you're working on?
That's something I'm working on, but I am currently having no ideas other than maybe rewriting Pygame.
Oh boy. Yeah, that sounds like.
But yeah, let's see what's up with that. There's a couple of things that I could fix with that. Ah, my search thing is on the other screen. Yeah, load article, that should be it. Alright, so I should be able to delete this file. And then see what is up with the dynamic articles. Yeah. It wasn't turning itself off. And here it is on the recenter action. It wasn't actually adjusting for the facing direction. So it was always being 40 pixels to the right instead of 40 pixels in the direction that he is facing.
Okay.
And then I might have to do that somewhere else up here. That should work. So let's take a look and see if that fixed those bugs.
Alright. Yeah.
Disappears. Oh. And it just was not there.
Looks like you're facing right.
Yeah, I think it's something to do with the flipping. The flipping of it is not properly working. Let's see here. Hang on. So
at least Zero's balanced now. At least half balanced.
he can only attack to the right. Yeah. Let's see. See, here's correct. It should be. No, it should be right. Wait. I think I did a dumb thing.
What happened?
I did the dumb thing. I made the Y direction based on the direction you were facing. So that one was actually, instead of being shifted up slightly so that it was above the ground, it went down even further.
I see. So if you zoomed down and looked at the bottom of the thing, you would see.
Yeah, I would see it underneath the stage. That's working. What the heck? Okay, so these should both be... Okay. What is up with these? Why aren't these...
Does he have any other articles you can try out? Or like,
not yet.
Just as reference, you know, see if it's just that one.
Yeah, hang on.
You have to manually remake the article facing left just to fix this.
I'm not going to do that. That's functionality that should really, you know...
Yeah.
Flipping it is something that is just too common.
Yeah, it should happen
shouldn't have to...
So, you don't have
yeah.
So you won't take it twice as long making all the
right.
difference.
Why aren't you working? You stay over here. just not there.
Should I, maybe you should have, like, player 3, like, jump off and see if it's, you know, going beneath the stage or something. I don't know.
That's a thing. Let's see. I'm still a dum-dum. I multiplied the wrong thing by the facing direction.
What did that do then?
So, what was happening is, there's the center position of the fighter shifted by the number, right?
Right.
I multiplied the position of the fighter by -1 instead of the offset.
I see.
So, yeah, I printed out the I finally saw what was happening. It was way the fuck off to the right.
Alright.
Okay.
Should work now.
5th time's the charm. That's working.
Whoa.
Okay, okay, the flipping, that is something I know that I know exactly what's doing that.
Gotcha.
I believe because it's flipping itself every frame instead of every time it changes sprite. Because I forgot that, because this one is on 4 frames, it changes the sub-image, and the one I was testing on was like the hitboxy shine that changed every frame, so I did not notice that.
Right.
So it is flipping every frame, even if its sprite hasn't actually changed.
Gotcha.
Let's see. Okay, let's try that. I just have to actually store the direction whenever it flips. Okay, I think I flipped it twice.
Right.
That's probably what happened there, but it's not wigging out, so...
Yeah.
Let's see. So in this case, facing is 1. Okay, so starting direction is 1, facing would be -1. Then starting directions, then it would flip. So I don't want to actually change that. I want to change... Oh, let's... What is the... Hang on. I'm trying to think if there's an easier way to do this than creating another variable just to store whether or not it's synced or not. But yeah, I am flipping it twice. This is what the issue is.
Alright.
I think that might work. Okay, still works that way. No, did not do it. Alright. Let's see. Okay, so... Oh, I need it to flip again. I need it to flip. I'm just going to need to make a new variable. Let's see here. Okay, what can I do? I have this variable from inheritance. And let's see, is it number or... Okay, so it's a Boolean. Let's see. Because I'm thinking I need to make it so that it knows to flip whenever it changes its sprite here. But then I've got to make sure that I've got it working anytime it changes its sprite, and not just whenever the auto animator does it. Hang on. So this self.flip is actually a property of the sprite, and then I've made this new one for flipped.
So if not self-flip equals if, or equals
yeah, Python is weird where I can't do like not equal, so I have to. But like so, self.flip is a property of the sprite, right? That determines whether or not it's been flipped.
Yeah.
And then this flipped is one that I've made up here that I toggle on here, which is like whether or not it should be. Each frame should be flipped. So it'll flip the first one here, and then that sprite will be, it'll be true. Yeah. So self.flip will be true. Right. But then whenever it changes sprites, the new sprite doesn't know that it needs to be flipped. So this is going to be wrong, and then it's going to flip.
Yeah, so it won't think it's both flipped and flipped, or whatever, unflipped.
I should probably change the names of that flipped variable now that I know what I'm using it for, but well, damn it. It shouldn't be remembering this flip variable in between changing sprites, but it might do that. Darn it. I wonder. No, I just want to see. Does it look like the very first frame of that is facing the right direction? It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I feel like we'd notice it.
Yeah. the way that I think would fix this the best is just inside of the image, make sure that it flips, but I'm worried that I'm going to break like a million things if I change something that's this core as the sprite manager.
Can you make a backup, just in case everything goes
I mean, I could just switch it back. Also, what is this doing below the return statement? That's not going to do anything. Let's see, that might not be where the best place to put it. Let's see. Alright, let's see how many things I've ruined.
What's the worst that can happen?
Everything breaks.
Oh, good. Alright, so far so good.
Still moving.
Okay, I'm still flipping properly. That still work.
Hey!
That works.
Alright, well.
Did this seriously not have any negative repercussions? What the hell?
I'm sure you'll notice them after you know, like 10 steps later, and then it'll be like,
yeah.
geez, when did this go wrong? And then you'll remember this moment.
What's up with the dash? Is that normal?
I think it's just not setting his initial speed, but it's setting his acceleration. So I fixed well, I didn't fix, but the other programmer, Eagle Jeans, fixed the collision issue.
That's good.
Okay, so if I pivot dash, it does set the initial speed, but it seems like non-pivot dash, because you're supposed to like start with an initial speed and then like there's actual speed and preferred speed, and the engine is just, if you have a preferred speed and you're not at it, accelerate or decelerate to that speed, right? So the dash is supposed to set both the initial speed and the preferred speed to the same thing, but I think the normal dash might only be setting preferred speed, so he slowly builds up to that speed, but pivot dash, which is a separate action, is doing that right. So I can dash dance fine.
But yeah, you can't just normal dash.
Yeah. But the dash dance looks silly because there's like that one frame of startup on the dash, so he just looks like he's skidding around. It's kind of funny.
Oh, but it looks like you got the.
Also, I want to show off another thing. We've made like a slight visual change to tumble. Hang on. Oh, I missed. I think that hitbox might not be updated properly.
It's like, even though it's flipped visually.
Yeah. What the heck? That's weird. But I'll figure that out. But first, I fell through the ground. It's a weird bug like this. The up tilt puts you in the air for like a frame.
Yeah.
And then if you do an up air, which pushes you down, it puts you through the floor. That's a 0 bug that I'm gonna have to fix. Yeah, that's not working. That's weird. There's a bit of a rotation on long knockback. I just have to build up his damage a little bit, and then we'll...
Oh, alright, cool.
Also, you'll notice that he no longer clips out of the edge of the stage anymore.
That's cool, yeah, you can just bounce off the wall.
Yeah. Like, yeah, so we found the bug that was causing the, slide, like, falling through the walls.
Yeah, I remember that,
like, if you're going too fast. So it turns out, like, the thing is, we weren't sure why it was doing it, because the code is now actually, like, checking where you are, where you were trying to go next frame, and if there's a wall in there, it just moves you to the wall. But the problem was, in between those two things of, like, here's where I want to go, and then moving them back, was actually the code that checked for whether the player was out of bounds. So they would never launch through a wall on stage, ever. But because the death check happened at that time, it'd be like, I'm over here, kill.
Must be dead.
I should be over here. Oh shit, I'm dead. Yeah. So that was the issue.
Yeah.
And yeah. But
so will that fix, or like, so fixing the up air killing you, or the shouldn't be too much of a problem, right?
I've just got to do some sprite shifting so that
Yeah.
it doesn't put you in the air immediately.
Anyways, what was wrong with the hitbox?
I'm going to find out. It's just not activating. I see. I relied on the article to activate the hitbox when I need to have the action do it now. Alright, that should solve it. Because before I had the hitbox get activated with the article because they were kind of linked, but now I've unlinked them so that it...
Do you want to try to... yeah, so you can see them now.
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
There we go. And again, this hitbox is not as big as it looks. It's only the point of impact that is actually... So it's not that obscene of a forward smash.
Yeah.
It's just really fast, kills pretty early, and covers a fairly wide area anyway.
So is the up smash problem only on training mode, or will that happen here too?
It'll happen here. If the timing is tight. Yeah, it's actually very hard to do intentionally. Because the thing is, if I hit the button too soon, then he doesn't go into the fall and he just does another up tilt. And if I hit it too late, he's already... Yeah, if I do it too late, he's already back on the ground and safe. And now that I think about it, it might not actually work on this stage because of the size of the platform.
It's too thick, or...
Yeah. So I could probably do it to fall through one of these. Yeah,
there you go.
Okay. So yeah, you can't fall through the bottom of the stage on this one, but you can fall through a platform with it, and I'm gonna fix that.
Gotcha.
What I have to do is I have to get... First off, I don't want the up tilt to actually put you into fall. But even if I fix that, I also want to make it so that the up air doesn't move your collider down.
Yeah.
It goes up from where you are.
Right.
So that way, even if you were to use it right near the floor, you wouldn't fall through like that. Like, that wasn't me fast falling through. Right. That was the attack sending me through. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, so anyway, that's that article. Let's build a neutral special.
Alright.
My guy, we're finally doing it.
I know. I've got the file open right here, yes. So now what I'm thinking, what I want to do for Zero is I want him to be able to, like, move and fully act while charging a thing, like in Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah.
Or in the games.
Yeah, or in the games, of course, but, like...
So even Mega Man, but even Mega Man
yeah,
can't
not
do
like
that.
Samus.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
It's like, I have a feeling that, the reason why they don't do that is because, like, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But then again, Zero's already broken.
Yeah, just
then
as a
on,
proof
like,
of concept.
yeah, so it's like, on the one hand, it'd be cool, it'd fit the games and stuff, it'd be a unique charge attack. On the other hand, I'm pretty sure it's broken as fuck. On the other hand, Zero's already broken as fuck.
Yeah.
And then on the fourth hand, I don't want to do that much work because that would seem like a nightmare to program in because I'd have to have charging versions of every action.
Charge attacks that.
I would have to have like charging versions of every action that still
so
do the
he's
thing.
dashing, he has to have the charge.
So
dash,
I know that there's something. The next thing I'm working on is what I'm calling events, which are different than actions, where basically they have a trigger and then they execute like a list of sub actions. So independent of whatever action the fighter is, an event can happen, and events can be set by either player.
Charging would be an event, right? Like,
well, so what it would be is the neutral action would start you charging and then start your little animation thing, like the little like swirl, and then it would add in an event that is triggered whenever you let go of the button to shoot.
Gotcha.
That way I don't need to change literally every single action that Zero has to be able to shoot whenever you release it. So, whenever the events work, I'm going to go back and I'm going to rework this action, but for now I'm going to make it a Samus-style charge shot that you'll be able to
like,
just
run
store.
with it after,
You'll be able to, like, charge it up. You'll be able to hit shield to, you know, store charge.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Move somewhere else, charge more. Move
Yeah.
somewhere else, finish charging.
Yep.
Store that charge, shoot somebody.
Exactly.
Right, let's do it.
So first off, so this is obviously the default thing. Which version of the attack do we want to do? Do we do like the normal charge shot, or do we want to make it look cooler by doing the fire, the ice, or the electric one?
I mean, are these all from
Zero? These are all 0,
the
1.
element to, you know, whichever element chip.
I could
the green one seems the most 0, but
this one, the default
the
one.
electric one, I think. Or,
This one is going to be the mid stage. That'll be the same.
We should just do the default, just
Yeah.
so.
But I don't know. Let's see. Do we have any other?
you could also do blue because that's also very
Mega Man X.
yeah.
Here's some more, but these are like the special kind of charge shots, like the laser and the ice thing. Oh, I need to. Oh no, I don't need to recolor
Oh,
these.
can you? I was gonna ask that actually. If you do palette swaps, will it change the particle colors?
It doesn't change the saber colors.
Okay.
That is something I should do.
That would be cool.
Currently the what's it? The palette swap thing doesn't change any of the article colors, but I should make it do that.
I mean, it doesn't do that in Smash, so it's not.
Yeah, I know it doesn't
Yeah.
do that in Smash, but I love it when games do that.
It would be a cool thing to do.
It's not
Maybe I
necessary.
could make like an option in the article for whether or not it should obey your palette swap.
Like certainly, I enjoy it in Blaze Blue, where you know you play as red, new, and the swords are red, or actually
Yeah.
the swords are always red. The swords are like green or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks like the only one of like the actual laser blasts that we have. So let's So this one is like whenever it hits something, I believe. This is the... Does it like oscillate between these, or is it like first and second? Like it stays like this. I'm not sure. I don't have the
I think it's
game's
like
on.
that.
So like this is like whenever it's shot, and then this
Yeah,
is
it's
how
like
it
that.
stays. Yeah. And I know these ones, like this is their starting thing, and then it oscillates, like it rotates through these 4. Alright. So I guess let's start with these.
Alright.
So it's 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8 pixels across. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Also 8. Perfect.
Are they articles?
Yes. So that'll be shot 1,
Yeah.
and just for naming convention's
shot,
sake, 0 shot 1. And then I put that in the wrong spot. That was just a floating action not tied to anything. It never really came up, but I mean, because I never tested it on a moving platform, which I probably should have, but I'm not good at programming. Let's see here. So that would be shot 1. Manually animating this one, so we don't want it to do something. And then, how many frames should this thing be alive? Like
Before it dissipates?
before it dissipates on its own.
Alright.
I don't know, like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fix this later once I have Zero's actual shooting sprite animated out.
Okay.
And like, these are actually, no, that's not quite symmetrical, not the starting sprite, so I do need to give it a direction. So then this one is going to have a hitbox tied to it because it's going to move with the hitbox. And then I'm just gonna not do anything with it other than skeleton it out, because I always want to make sure that the animation looks alright. Equals, so it'll hover there. Let's do 2 frames on its first thing, and then it'll change to the second sprite and start moving. This currently says change fighter speed, but it is really change owner speed. So since this belongs to an article, it's changing that. I'm going to change the name on that so that it is less confusing.
Gotcha.
I don't know, let's give it 6. Let's make it move at 6. And then I actually have to make the I don't have a neutral special even skeletoned out yet, so doesn't matter. I don't have the animation for it yet, but let's just do okay. So load article, I give it a name to be referenced in the action. This is the name that I give it in the file here. So it's saying load shot 1, call it projectile, and then this is activate the article that you call projectile.
Alright.
So that way you can have, like, you can store an article if you need to know anything about, like, where it is, or like reactivate it or move it or something.
Gotcha.
So
Oh.
that didn't work. Change sprite image. That is a different, let's see here, article. Pew.
Oh, it's
Pew.
laser vision.
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't position
Yeah.
it or anything.
Yeah. But yeah. Do
Yeah.
they have hitboxes or?
Well, it has a hitbox, but the hitbox does nothing currently.
Right. Yeah.
So what I think I actually have to do is
Are you making it bigger? Or
I am, but I don't want it to be.
messy.
Yeah, I want it to be pixelated, so this should be near near.
There you go.
Yep. Then I've got to change this to 16. And then let's bump this up to frame 4. And then, just so we can see it a little better, let's make it go 40 frames in front of him.
Sure.
So that it doesn't appear behind his face,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we can see how it looks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Now we just need to get the actual zero sprite of him with the little gun thing,
Yeah.
and then position this to start in the proper place. And probably make it go faster, because 6
Yeah.
is not fast enough.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Let's do like 18, 3 times as fast. Let me just see how that looks real quick. That actually
it
seems
looks,
right.
That's what looks like how it is in the games.
Yeah.
And then actually, the charge shots might be slower, or
Well, yeah, the charge shots will probably go slower. But, I mean, I did just sort of throw together a 12-frame action to fire these out, and I'm not going to keep it that way.
yeah. Like in the final one, like, he'll pull out the gun, he'll shoot it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pew,
So
pew,
that'll give
pew.
you enough time to react to it.
And then, so the thing is, what I could do is I can make it sort of like a Falco situation, where if you keep hitting the button and he keeps the gun out, it'll
get
shoot
weaker and
fat.
weaker?
Well, no, it's like, so like with Falco, it's like you tap the button and he draws the gun and then shoots. And if you
I
hit the
see.
button again, he just
So yeah,
shoots.
you don't put the gun
So
back
instead
in
of
the
draw, shoot, put away, draw,
it's-
shoot,
it's
put
just
away.
Draw, shoot,
Shoot, shoot, shoot, shoot, shoot, shoot, shoot, and then, yeah, he
Yeah.
puts it up whenever he,
Yeah, that sounds good.
yeah.
But like I think, I know the least use in Brawl, like, but it's like when you spam an attack, it does less damage every time you use it.
Well, stale moves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
that
how
was
it's
in Smash 4.
Not
Oh,
yet.
Smash
Well,
4?
that's in every Smash.
Yeah, it's
I thought that was only in Smash 4.
What, stale move? No, in Smash 4, it affected the actual, like, percent damage it did, and not just the knockback.
I see.
And since percent damage factors into the knockback, it kind of double dipped a bit and made things really weak.
Yeah.
But stale moves have been around since Smash 64.
Okay.
There's noticeable in Smash 4.
I mean, it was always pretty noticeable. That's why in, Melee tournaments, you don't see Foxes using literally only their up smash for the whole game.
Right, yeah.
Because if there wasn't staling, like, it's his most damaging move, it's his
So-
fastest move, it's his best kill move.
How does it work? It's just if it's the move you just use, it gets.
Well, no, so what happens is you have, like, a queue of the last, like, X many moves, I don't know the actual number
Right,
that
yeah.
you've used,
Uh-huh.
and then depending on where it is in the queue, it's kind of like bitwise manipulation. So if
Right.
it was the last move you'd used,
Yeah, but
it
if was-
affects it more.
If it was 2 moves ago, it's a little less.
It'll a little less. And if it was 2 moves ago and the next move, then they add up.
Right.
So if you think about it, it's like, it's not, these aren't the exact numbers, but if like the last move you do makes it like half,
Yeah.
the move before does a quarter, and the
Yeah.
move before does an eighth.
And if all
Right?
3 of those were the same.
And if
move,
all 3 of those are the
It'll
same
be-
move, it's going to be a half plus a quarter plus an eighth, which is
Yeah.
going to be like 7/8.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's not the number, because then that would be the move doing
Yeah,
basically
but-
nothing.
yeah, it's-
But like, that is the thought process behind it.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, the more you work through. But anyways, do you plan on having that in here, or
Yeah, I'm gonna do stale moves eventually.
yeah, it's not important right now.
Yeah.
Because that's just for meta.
So eventually what I'm going to do whenever I have the events thing is I'm going to use I have these actions, like, you know, this is jump, and then there's like land, and then walk, and stuff like that, and then I'll play these instead of the normal animations, but for now I just need these.
Gotcha.
Although I might try to pull another frame from something else to make like a drawing the weapon sprite.
Yeah. So it's not immediate.
Yeah. Because, you know, Zero has
Yeah,
enough
it's
of
interesting,
those.
like, it's different mentality in fighting games and in like action games. In action game, when you press a button, you want,
it to happen immediately.
But in a fighting game, you want it to have a tell so that other players can react to it.
So I just need a sprite that kind of looks like he's drawing a weapon, and I'm probably going to pull one of these.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing if there's one where he's sort of standing.
Like that. Oh, go back. That maybe.
You can always fuse a couple together.
I could always, you know, splice where I take like this upper body and put it on the normal legs.
I think you could definitely take that first one.
Yeah, I
like
that.
Have to change much.
Damn it! Grab the whole thing. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this leg and put it over this one so that his heel is planted. And then that's all I think I'll need to do.
Yeah, that's good. Might have to get rid of the hair.
I'm gonna. Wrong layer.
Yeah, perfect. And just fill that little.
Actually, I think I need to move this up one more pixel.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to.
And then I don't have to
change
do anything.
Yeah, cool.
And then this way the feet, I believe, are
Match up?
completely even. Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Boom.
Ah, that's way better.
Yeah. So his
Well,
front
is there-
foot is still shifted
Is there something
slightly.
between his legs?
I think that's just
Is that
the
normal?
shading.
Yeah, it should be
I don't
fine.
know.
But you might want it gone
Yeah.
for consistency's sake.
Yeah. So that it's. Oh. I think that'll be enough.
Yeah, it should be fine.
Yeah. And then this is the frame where it's shot out, and then this is a bit of the cooldown before you could shoot again. And then I'll just go back to this frame if the actual thing is done, like the actual full action is done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh crap, I hope I didn't, I might have cut off a bit of that, the front of that gun. I did. So what I'm going to do... shift all of this back, and then just paste the gun over it.
Alright.
Yep, that's the right spot. There we go.
Cool.
Fixed.
Beautiful.
And now this process again, making a sprite. Gonna line up on the back foot. So yeah, he leans forward a little bit to grab the gun and then pulls it out. I think that'll look alright.
Yep.
Actually, now that I think about it, I think the other ones, the bottom foot is a frame, is a pixel down from the others. Yeah. So I've copied those, so I'm not going to have to redo all of that. I'm just going to paste it back in on another layer. But yeah, let's fix this leg. I think it should be one of these.
Probably the pink one, I think.
I don't know.
Oops.
I pulled from the other wrong layer. Let's see. No, I think it looks better with the blue there.
Alright.
Okay. Now we're in business. Wait, where's the one that I pasted? There it is. I only pulled the first layer, so I have to refix this one. Darn it. I thought I was selecting the whole image, but I was not. I need food. I'm making simple mistakes because I'm hungry.
Programming on an empty stomach is not in balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I just realized somebody actually posted,
Really weird.
so
Oh, I
that's
see
why
what
I
you
had
said.
to do some update. I guess
Do you know?
I don't. Might have been somebody who was watching. I think he was just saying that because that's like explaining why he was leaving.
Oh, I see.
Because it's
Bye.
just us watching again.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there was some people for a
Apologies. Yes. Apologies. Okay. All right. We need 60. So 81, 6, 320. So let's see here. So like 4 frames draws the thing and fires the first one. Then let's see. 12 frames, so it'd be 16 frames. Let's do.
Fires by 2, right?
I can. I'll do it by 4. So. On frame number 4, activate the projectile, and then frame. So this would be 0, 4, 8. On frame 16. No, on frame 20. And then what was the syntax? Let's see. I'm gonna take a bit from the jabs.
Oh, hey, someone on chat.
Someone on chat. Yo, what's up, peeps? Omni, yes. Right now, you're the only one here other than us, and you're going to hear us in 30 seconds.
Hello, Omni.
Ahoy! I've set my Twitch thing to do the, like, not, you know, delay it, but it's delaying it anyway, and I think it has to do with my internet connection.
Yeah, it's just lag.
Yeah. And then, so instead of I want to set it to 3 because then it increments up to 4, I think.
Alright.
Yeah. And then button. So how this works is if you press the special button within, let's say, any time after the shot came out, so within 16 frames, we do the conditional that I have named repeat. So basically, if you tap the button after the last shot starts, but before you actually hit the end of the animation, he'll just loop it again.
Right.
And then after that, so actually this should be, no, this should be frame 20, frame 19, and then frame 20 because I need to change the sprite on this one. This will be whenever he goes into the wind down, so it'll be 0 until the end of the attack.
Hey, can you? But is the loop working?
Well, right now I'm just looking at the animation. Pew, pew, pew. That's actually
It's
not too far off
it's
from
a little
the.
higher,
But
lower, but yeah.
just got to make it a little lower. But yeah, so then if I. Yeah.
It even looks like there's even that nice glare on his face. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, the glare is part of the sprite.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just mean, like, but it works while he's rapid fire.
Yeah.
I just mean it works in general.
Yeah. Alright, cool.
Looks pretty nice. That actually looks pretty good. Let's just
Lower the bullet.
yeah, lower the bullet a little bit, but let's find out like exactly where.
Kind of pixels.
Yeah, let's do it's just a little bit of a pixel hunt. Because, like I said, I don't have the interface in the builder for the articles yet.
Right.
Otherwise, I would, use the
can just
article,
look at the
use
number,
just
yeah.
like how I did with the hitboxes.
Yeah.
But like the functionality's kind of there. It just there's no UI, so you can't see
Yeah.
anything. So it
Can't
doesn't
see the
help.
exact
It doesn't help at this point at all.
Alright.
So yeah, 40 pixels, because it doubles that, is actually exactly the right forward distance. Like, we guessed that perfectly, the X distance.
Alright.
And 42. This would be the height that it was at. Actually, this is. So we need to move it down to here. And then that is 7 pixels, double it, so it should go to 14. And then downward is positive, so...
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Go up on the top platform just so we can see it better.
For some reason I have a... Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I like it.
I think I found a problem though.
What?
It is not creating a new article. It is loading. It's actually teleporting the same one back to that position.
I see. So that's
So,
probably
so
if
if you
you're
fire
hitting
randomly,
multiple
the
times.
first one will go back to start.
Right. So I know how to fix that. Instead of loading it beforehand, I just got to load it right there. And I think losing the reference to it isn't actually an issue. I don't think anything does it after it's created. That looks a little better.
Yeah.
But just to make sure,
So what's the
Is that
range
the
now? Like, does it
hitbox on
disappear?
it disappears after about 2 seconds. So let's see what that is. It'll go
It's full
full
screen.
screen.
Is that fine?
I could make it shorter. But yeah, we now know it's not teleporting the thing back.
Yeah.
Although, now that I think about it, I actually want to change this. So 40 is... It's 48, so that it actually shows up in front of the blaster instead of inside of it a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm moving it up by half the size of the...
So you probably definitely want
The
to shorten
bullet.
the distance. Right.
Yeah. I think that's a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of it starting inside of the pistol, I just
Right.
shifted it forward the remaining half of its size.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Alright.
Alright, so that is an uncharged blast. We could actually start giving it some stats.
Cool.
Let's do like 2%. Let me just borrow from Hitboxy for the start.
Does Hitbox have a projectile? I forget.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's got his little splat thing.
Right.
Yeah, let's just borrow from him for this time being. And then this is actually 16 by... I don't actually know how tall that sprite is. 14. This one's actually going to do a little bit less damage than Hitboxy's because he fires faster. And then this, it just has a little bit of knockback, just enough to stagger you. It's like a Falco laser.
Right. Alright, let's check it out.
I did not activate the hitbox. That is my bad.
Yeah. Might be important.
Something, Hunger Games.
Yes. It's like I made the hitbox, but I didn't actually tell the game to turn it on.
Alright, let's see it.
Okay, it is on, but yeah, so like...
Well, and yeah, so...
So you're not actually going to make any headway, at least not with Hitboxy, but
Yeah.
you have enough time to jump out if I had ever stopped accidentally short hopping. Because I was just trying to tap the button and I kept short hopping and that didn't give me enough
So yeah, you don't get stuck.
It's hard to control two people at once. Why am I controlling two people at once? I have two other people in the fucking room.
Just give one to me.
I could plug in a controller.
Yeah, we can do the next turn. Though. I think we got this down. Then.
Yeah. All right. So we've got that. Now we need to actually make a charge. Geez, it's going to be hard to have a charge and a shot. So what I need to do is I need to make sure on this frame if he is not still holding the button.
Right. So if you
so you are going to make it a holds to charge instead of a.
So is it going to be hard to have them both do the repeat and the charge though?
Well, okay, so what I'd do, it'd be the repeat, but, like, at any point you could start charging.
You just start holding, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, should actually be, then, let's do, and then I believe held? Is it held? How does the, I have it in hitboxy. Yeah, there it is, button held is. So, let's do, so actually, is it pass fail? And then it should be fire. So right now the charging isn't actually going to do anything. But what it's going to do, if you hold the button, then it's going to, he'll like hold the charge shot. I'm just going to see if that works. So like, if I tap it, and then...
Yeah, it looks like he's holding it, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
So what I need to do actually is, let's see. I'm wondering, let's see if it's held. Oh. Thinking, because it seems really easy to accidentally charge whenever you're not trying to. You know what?
Yeah.
You know what might actually be a thing?
What?
We couldn't come up with a down special for him, right?
Right.
What if down special is charge?
Yeah, okay, so normal special is just the normal shooting
and then what thing we could do is, like, the down special you could charge, and then whenever you're fully charged, you can actually, like, cycle elements.
Oh, yeah. So you can switch between electric, fire, and ice.
Yeah. So, like, you have to charge to full, and then you hit down special, and then it'll be, like, do a little, like, animation of, like, switch elements, and you could cycle through, and they'd have different properties.
Yeah.
So, like, the fire one... What?
It's weird. I like it.
Weird, but I mean...
It's easier, if
well, no, it's easier, but, like, so, like, this one I could probably do it, but I'm thinking, we couldn't really come up with a down special for him anyway.
I thought we were doing counter.
We might have been doing counter,
lame,
but, like,
everyone
counter
has
is lame. Everyone has a fucking counter.
I think it was one of those things that we wanted to show that how to do a counter.
Yeah, but I could always do that later.
Yeah, any guy with a
I don't know. I think, because, like, a big thing in the Zero series is the different elements.
Yeah,
and I think being able to cycle between the elements would be a great way. So, like, let's brainstorm some properties here. So, like, the fire one would probably do more damage.
Yeah.
The
maybe like one of them has more damage, one of them has more knockback or something.
Yeah.
And
So actually, okay, so fire would probably do more damage.
yeah, electric would do
Ice
that.
would probably do more knockback, because electric is the stun one.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
the
right.
one that holds them there longer. That one
Yeah.
has more hit stun.
Alright, cool. Yes. Yeah, if you can do it, I want to see it.
Yeah, let's... Okay. I mean, it's completely different than what we were doing before, so...
Whatever.
But... fuck it, I want to try it. Let's do variables... 0. And that should be... it should be L... I don't need to do type if it's a string. And then let's start at fire.
Yeah. Yeah, fire is the simplest way to reach it.
I mean, there's a chance I could just go back and make this a normal charge attack, but
yeah, just.
I mean,
yeah.
even if I do have a even if I do make this a normal charge attack, I would still like
Make
the down
down B to
special
switch
to
the-
switch the elements.
Yeah.
So this one should actually basically not interrupt anything. You just do it, and then it makes a little animation pop up that shows the element switch, but it doesn't actually interrupt. It doesn't take any time at all. That would be kind of
Let's
cool.
use the same animation as his normal projectile, like
Well-
he pulls out the gun.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But I don't know. As of right now, let's just for proof of concept, let's just make down special instantly charge it and make
Sure.
your
Yeah.
thing work. I believe if I have the length 0 frames, then it won't actually do anything. It'll just execute the setup and then do nothing. I don't know. If not, then I should probably do that, because this is basically an event. But I don't want it to interrupt anything. Now this is interesting. This is an interesting design problem.
Yeah.
How are we gonna solve this?
Well, so when do you want the switch to happen? The element switch, you know.
I would actually like it to be like you hit down B and it doesn't even have an animation. It just happens with whatever
Right. Like how do you
thing you're
cycle through
doing.
the elements? Like you're at fire, you want to get to
Like you hit the button
yeah.
and then it'll change like fire, ice, elect, fire, ice, elect, and then
Yeah.
you just like hit the button and it cycles through.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it has to be a length one, but let's see here. So. And then it's set fighter fire. Let's see. There it is, set fighter bar. I actually have to do conditionals for this, so name. Let's do fire to Did I capitalize it? I did capitalize it. Let's keep that consistent. And then just have 3 of these. And then I'm gonna what do I call this? Charge level? Yeah, charge level. Alright. Could just break this into 2 actions for firing the charged one.
Alright.
And then base. That is how you'd make a non-normal one. You just say what you want to inherit from. In this case, it's going to behave like a neutral special, where it has all of like the, you know, the hitbox management and stuff that the attacks have.
Gotcha.
But I can call it something different. So for now, I'm just gonna make this charge. So what I'm probably gonna do is I'll keep down as the thing. I'll have them charge normally whenever I figure out a decent way to get the repeat firing and the charge for that. But what I'm gonna do is on frame. What I'm going to do, so I'll use the charge one for no. Let's see. We're actually doing some legit programming inside of the TUSSLE character engine, which is pretty nice. Charge level. Let's just say 1. So let's just do. I think it's actually do action. Yeah, it is do action. Alright. Alright, so then I'm gonna do much of the same stuff. I don't think I actually need to do most of that. So then let's do frame number. And then here we would check what the element is and fire a different shot depending. And then that should be So now we're basically done. Actually, I need to on frame 20. I need to do the wind down animation. Alright, so this is the same, similar to above, but on frame 4, instead of just firing a normal bullet, it'll check your which element you have loaded, and then it'll load that article and then activate it.
That one,
yeah. So now I just need to go in and I need to make ice shot. I should keep these in the same order. So fire, shot,
iron, ice, and then shock.
And then elect. And then these are going to be the same, but with different hitboxes and animations. So let's make those animations.
Alright, fire first, right? Or...
Yeah, let's do fire first. Okay, what is the widest one here? This one's 40 across. Alright, still fits. Still fits. Still fits. Okay, so 40 is the width of this. Alright. So now I've just gotta, just like I was making a normal character animation, slice these off into new layers, then line them up, and then position them properly, and then space them out. Okay. So now these should line up at the back, and that so it looks like it's pushing forward.
All right.
Now that it's out, they align front.
Is that all of them?
Let's see. Okay.
Cool.
Canvas. So then this should be width 40, height 30. Alright, that's good. And then I need to make, there's Crap, I didn't count many layers. 8 layers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to double this, but I'll double it when it's all done. Actually, no, I'll double it.
Double it now.
I'll double it now.
I feel like the I'll double it later resulted in some weird hitbox stuff for quite a long time.
It really did.
0.
It did. So yeah, I'm doubling it now. So now it's 80. I'm gonna do 8 of them, so that should be 640.
So after this, which, you know, is still, could be a while, is it just the tether that's left?
Side B, but that's just a dash attack.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like, that one will be
Okay,
super
so
fast.
just Ice. Or something like it.
What are we doing for side B?
The
What animation?
lightning dash sword.
Okay, got
That's name escapes me. Something
it. Some
weave.
Japanese, yeah.
Rising Gepi.
Ah, there we go. Okay.
Beautiful.
Alright. Let's see. 2. This one is actually just gonna probably
Full
keep.
screen, or-
Well, it's probably gonna keep going until it hits something.
Yeah.
So it should be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Alright.
Damn. I just noticed that the guy Omni was saying more stuff.
Well, he was saying.
Yeah, we said
Hold
hello.
on.
He said
yeah,
hello
we
back.
said hello back. Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
We've
I
acknowledged
thought,
his.
I thought he said it 3 times and then he said it 2 more times.
Yes.
Since
yeah, but I
then.
mean, we can also say hello. Like he
Yeah.
said, he said hello. We said hello. He said hello again. We can,
We could say hello forever.
but that just
Yeah,
puts the
like-
ball back in his
Right.
court.
Exactly.
So
So
we can end the cycle right now.
we could be the bigger person. Actually, the height of this one is. Actually, no, height doesn't matter. It'll always be right in the middle. Okay. So I'm actually just going to grab all these. 2, 4, 6. So this should be frame 7. And then this should be slower. And then we jump back to frame 8. So here's something I'm going to do to test this out real quick. Make all the elements shoot fire. And then I could also make it change his up B and his side B.
Ooh.
I could make it change all of his specials. That's a lot cooler. That is a lot cooler than
It is
just...
a lot
It's a lot more effort.
It's a lot more effort.
No, it's actually not. I mean, I just have to get more sprites.
Paste, yeah.
So, oh. Var type. Oh, I think I have to set one here. This is the first time I've used string variables, and I just realized that I forgot to actually give it that edge case. I don't actually need to do anything, it's already a string. I just needed to have that var type thing set so that it wouldn't crash.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see here. Alright, let's ooh.
What's wrong?
Are there... No, there shouldn't be any ifs in here. That's... What the heck? Hang on. This shouldn't be actor, this should be action. No, should it be? 1 second. Because some variable names got cleaned up in the code, and then that broke some stuff. So then, action. Alright, so then I believe it's var. Alright. Yeah, we cleaned up, we went through a lot of the stuff, but then there's some missing references that we didn't notice that I'm gonna be finding for months. Okay, that's working now. So if I did it down, okay, I don't actually know if it's working. Hang on. I do have a print statement in the fighter script, so I'll be able to see if it's switching. It just switched through all three of them.
Like it moved back around.
So it did switch to ice and thunder, and then right back to fire when you pressed it once?
Mm-hmm. Because it did all of these in a row.
Oh boy.
Alright.
Well, that ends
Well
this
played.
episode.
Well played. I could just do the really cheap solution.
What's that?
Put the ifs in the reverse order.
Alright. Will that come back to bite you in the ass later? Or?
No.
Alright.
It's just it executes these in order, right?
Yeah.
So let's see here. No, because then it'll still change it back to what it was before.
Yeah, it'll just do it in the opposite order.
I'm gonna need to clean this up because I'm gonna have to. I think what I'm gonna have to do is make these like, and then have like nested conditional things, which will be messy. I don't know. But either way, it should actually still be charging. So let's see, charge level. I mean, they all do the same thing right now anyway, so what the fuck?
Yeah.
Let's see. Is that what I was missing? Okay, so malformed string. That's not good. Origin point. What did I do wrong? Okay. Is that it? I am beginning to think this is just a bad XML.
Oh,
no,
okay.
like it's probably I've misaligned tags somewhere. I'm just gonna run a little validation tool, see what's up. Where's the error? No errors were found. Well, fuck you. I was hoping it would be something easy like that. Why isn't it loading this fire shot? Actually, I think it might be these empty ones are confusing it. What article is it trying to load? Fire. Motherfucker. Inconsistent capitalization. That was the error. It couldn't find fire lowercase shot. Or I mean fire capital shot, because I had it programmed as fire lowercase shot.
Hey, whoa.
It's facing the wrong direction, but
it doesn't matter. You got it.
it's working. I forgot to give it a facing direction.
Right. It's also like 10 miles away from you.
Well, that is because it was flipped.
Oh, I see. Right.
Yeah, right, because the
Yeah.
trail.
Because the trail.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I also did move it a little bit. Maybe I moved it too far to the left because I just realized it is probably just the trail. So if I charge it, yeah, I should move it forward a bit. So yeah, 80 was the right thing.
Cool.
Of course, I'm not actually setting the charge thing back to 0,
Yeah.
but I'll get the charging in a bit. I don't know, I just like... Out of laziness, I came up with this is actually, I think, a better idea for his moveset. But yeah.
I mean, it definitely
So yeah.
makes it more.
Boom, 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 boom.
Cool.
And this one you can't repeat fire, but
Yeah, it makes
because
sense.
it's a charge
It's a
shot.
charge shot. How would you? Yeah.
How would you? Yeah. Alright, so then back to 0 actions. Let's actually fix that elemental. First off, let's I think I actually only need one more condition. So, condition not fire. So we know it is already not fire. So if it's ice, then we do ice to elec, and if it's not ice, then it has to be elec, so we'll do elec to fire.
Gotcha.
There we go. So rather than having all three ifs, we just put one if inside of another if, and then have the default case there.
Exception.
Ifception, yes. So now, let's get the other animations.
Alright, so ice next, right?
Yeah, ice next. I'm going to see if I can speed things up a little bit. I think I'm confident enough in this that I'm not going to make simple mistakes.
Alright.
That's famous last
Famous
words.
last words!
Bless you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Alright.
Now, we close in R. I'm just going to make this 40.
Alright. You don't want to
Just-
double it?
Well, no, I'm going to double it, but first
Okay.
I've got to get it positioned.
I see.
And then this one is also 8. And that was anchored at the wrong position.
Cool.
Is that in the right position? Okay. Alright, that is in the right position. So let's just take Fire Shot and paste it. Because we don't have any of the hitboxes for any of them yet, so
Yeah.
other than that, they're identical.
Right. So we're on to elect now?
Yep.
Cool.
And then I think once this is done, I'm going to try to work out the kinks to make the charge thing a little bit easier off camera, and then finish making sprites for things off camera,
Yeah, sounds good.
and
And then
then
next week we'll probably be
like
finished.
actually
Yeah.
finished
Yeah.
with 0.
Cool, cool.
Because I always forget to think like, oh, I could do all this easy in like 2 hours, and then I remember, oh wait, 90% of this time is going to be making sprites.
Yeah.
There's almost certainly a faster way to do this, but I'm not a good enough artist to know.
Yeah. It works, and that's what matters.
Yeah. Why is this thing moving by such a huge amount? Whatever. There we go. Alright. This one's harder to line up because it's got so much
Yeah,
shit going on. Okay. That should work for that. And then I got the last one. I should never use the mouse, but too easy to fuck up the vertical alignment on that.
Alright, looks like you got it.
One sec. Okay, now I got it. And then I have to actually, like, space them out.
Right.
So this one should be 40. And now I double it. Alright, then 640. Dang it. I keep forgetting to change the anchor point. 140. Alright. Boop. I'm not moving it at all. Okay.
Alright, this has been a real learning experience. You went from projectiles seem difficult, I'll do that later, to let's give him 4 different kinds of projectiles.
different level now.
Yep.
I thought it was interesting because it was like, actually, this part's too hard. What if instead we did this really cool, unique mechanic thing, like of the whole turning a shot into a charge
Yeah,
shot?
yeah, it's just like,
It's like instead of doing that.
a counter would be too difficult. Instead of that, let's give him something completely new.
Yeah.
And if anybody was watching this to see specifically how to do a counter for whatever homebrew character you're doing at home,
0 to 10.
I'll do that later. Maybe I'll give one to Hitboxy as a variant move or something.
Dark Hitboxy has a counter.
Well, because one of the
Sword
things...
Boxy.
Sword Boxy.
Yes. One of the things I actually want to do is have, like, variant selection at the character select screen, where, like, you
like
could
in
define...
Mortal Kombat X or whatever.
Well, like, so what it would be is, like, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me do
like
that real
preset
quick.
custom moves.
So what'll happen is, I want to have, basically, whenever you select the character, it'll come up with a little, like, choice, like a little, like, selector box that by default just has, like, your palette color.
Right.
But you can also define custom things for your character. So then it'll pass the variables to the fighter. So, like, for example, for Hitboxy, I could have a thing, like, for the custom moves, like, I could be, like, you know, up B, down B, side B, neutral B, and then you'd be able to page it, like, cycle through them and select them, and then it passes those variables, and the fighter says, these are the 4 strings I was given, so whenever I do a special move, I need to load this one for this one, and this for that, and so on.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So yeah, you can make a counter boxy.
Yeah, so, and it wouldn't just be for special moves, you could have, like, different, not just palette swaps, but costume swaps.
Cool. Yeah, like Wario. Or...
Yeah. So, like, you'd be able to change, like, let's say, if I had enough sprites or an artist, and I had a Mega Man X style 0, right? Yeah. I could have one of the selections be, like, you know, MMZ or classic style. Yeah. And then it'll load a completely different sprite library, but all of the function, like, all of the attacks and everything will be the same, but the sprites will be completely different instead of just a palette swap.
Yeah, nothing that would change, like, the hitboxes.
Nothing that'll change the hitboxes or anything. It'll be functionally the same, but it'll, like, the sprites will look different. It'll be a different costume instead of a palette.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's like, you played my modded Smash Bros. Brawl before, right?
No, we haven't talked about it.
Never have. Oh, shit, I should plug that in one of these days.
Yeah,
but, like, so, for example, normally the costumes are just palette swaps. Like, they're completely the same, but, like, different things, like, they just change the colors.
Yeah.
But I have costumes that actually, like, do, like, model, like, vertex modification, so that the characters' animations and everything are the same, but they look completely different.
I see, okay.
So, like, the big one is the Cloud for Brawl hack over Ike, where they make him look, you know, he's skinnier, he's got spikier hair, and of course that one comes with a moveset that changes everything anyway. Yeah. But if I just loaded the model hack and not the moveset, then I could make one of Ike's costumes Cloud, that otherwise behaves exactly like Ike.
Right, yeah.
Like different sword and all that too.
Yeah, like it would have a different looking sword, but it would be
have
the same.
Same hitbox.
Yeah, same size hitboxes, everything. So even if the Buster sword is bigger, it would still only hit where Ike's sword would have hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would also want to have that sort of like options menu for stages, so that you could have like you could build a stage with a hazard switch.
Oh yeah, like Omega versions of stages.
Yeah. It's like that Undertale stage I was telling you about that I want to do. It's like I want to have like toggles so that you'd be able to like choose which one you go into. Or if you want to, you could actually choose to like disable spoiler stages. So if you're playing with friends that haven't played Undertale, you could have like the final boss doesn't show up, but
so
his platform does, but it's like given to like a neutral enemy.
It's like a stage select within a stage, or a stage switch within a stage switch.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stages already. Instant, you hold a button combination.
Yeah, that would be the thing. Instead of having to like hold L to get to the Mushroomy Kingdom thing, you would just be able to select it from a list. Yeah. So anyway, let's see here. So poop. Boop. Ice.
There's ice, yep. That's ice, let's switch. Ice switch.
Ice is just doing ice. It's just doing ice!
To see you too.
Alright, let's see what's wrong with that. So then the down special, let's see here. So, let's see, fire. It is currently fire, so it switches to ice. And then if it is not fire, is it fail or is it else? Fuck, that might be it. Sub-action. No, it's fail. It's else actions. Alright. Even though it's set to fire, it seems to be...
Yeah, why does it start on ice?
Well, no, it's starting on fire, and then I hit down B, and it switches to ice, because that is the thing that's currently, like, setting the charge.
Like, so if you started right now, it would start with fire, or...?
So first, let me just
Sure.
make it so that you always fire charge shots.
Yeah. But, like, so without doing anything, right now it's fire, right?
Yeah. Fire.
Alright.
Ice. But for some reason, whenever I do it...
switch back to fire or it's
Yeah.
shot.
So, the problem here is that it seems to always be doing this fire to ice. Found it!
What happened?
This is the first time I've actually done the else actions, and it was just doing the if actions again.
Gotcha.
So it was doing this pass again, even if the condition was false. So, alright, so now, fire,
Fire. Yep.
ice,
Ice.
no,
Yep.
ice,
With 3 elements. Fire, ice, and ice.
ice, ice, why is it still ice?
It started on fire this time, but it's never switching back.
Jesus. What the hell? Okay, hang on. And I didn't, it was somewhere else where it wasn't set to the proper thing yet. Okay. I thought I was only called once, but it was called twice, and neither of them were set to the right thing. Okay. Fire.
Fire.
Ice.
Elec.
Elec. It's. I didn't make the article. I just made the sprite.
Yeah, just copy paste it, right?
Yeah, just copy paste and change the sprites, the names. I forgot to make, but that means we're good.
Yeah. And then it'll go back to fire, presumably, right?
Yeah. Let's see here. I did save it, right? Okay, I did save it. Okay.
One more time.
One more time. Okay.
Everybody.
Fire. Ice. Elec.
Fire powers combined.
Fire! But then, just when the world needed him most, he vanished.
And that is the end of that.
Okay. So
Seems a good stopping point.
actually, there is one more thing that I want to do before I do the stopping point. So I'm actually going to turn off the elemental charge things for now.
Alright.
And who wants to do an exhibition match?
Sure.
Alright, how about all three of us do an exhibition
Sure, we all
match?
roll
We've never done a 3-player game.
Yeah,
We
have
have
it.
3 controllers. I
I
got 2
do.
controllers
Super
and a
Nintendo.
keyboard.
Yep, 2 controllers and a keyboard.
We are all
Thing
two
is,
now.
though, I stupidly plugged in my microphone into the front of my computer, so I actually have to get behind it and plug in a controller real quick.
Gotcha.
And I think that'll be the Xbox controller, because that one has a longer cord. Alright, who wants the Xbox controller and who wants the
use
Super
Xbox.
Nintendo one?
Should we switch chair?
Yeah, you should probably sit on this side.
Yeah. Well,
who's using the keyboard. All right.
I'm using the
You're
keyboard.
using the keyboard, and I'll sit
Yeah.
here.
Alright, probably have to map our controllers.
Yeah, I have to map them. So that controller is actually already set up. You're going to need to scoot in a little bit.
Right.
Alright. So... Alright. And then I've actually got this fancy thing on my capture where it's going to be the full screen now. So actually, player controls. So I'm just going to need you to hit a button on that controller because it should already be set up. Any button. Okay, because that one's actually... So what happens is you can save the individual gamepad settings, and then you just need to assign it to a player.
Gotcha.
So now this one.
Okay, left, right, up, down. And if you want to set multiple buttons, like multiple jump ones, just hit them at the same time. So attack, special, and then just hit them at the same time. It won't, until you release your first button, it won't, yeah. Boom. And then, so now, exit, player controls, and now you hit a button on your controller, alright?
That's awesome.
Yep. Are we gonna all be 0, or... Well,
Oh,
what the hell?
I pressed A, did that too.
Value is not defined.
No, I think it's because yours is... okay, so let's see here. This is another one of those... Shit got renamed. Sorry, it's a black screen on the stream at the moment, but shit got renamed, things got forgotten. I just had to update that. Okay, now you guys hit buttons.
Oh, sorry, I pressed control stick to the
Okay.
right. Both times.
Alright, 1 second. I have a feeling there's going to be more on this. Is there more? Are there more errors? Are there more names that didn't get fixed? Okay, don't think so. Alright.
Let's tussle.
Let's try this one more time. But yeah, go ahead, and even if you want to just like pick a character, hit your buttons. Can you come in? Alright, cool.
Hey.
Okay.
Alright.
You can't see because, oh, the microphone's in the way. I'm going to pull this microphone up. Sorry if you're hearing rustling on the recording or stream. Alright, so you're going to be 0.
Yeah.
Should we all be 0?
All 0.
Yes.
All 0. Okay.
Is there a big battlefield? Or?
No.
Alright, let's go.
Normal battlefield.
Yeah.
Or we could just go,
Let's
you
do
know,
FD,
FD.
I was saying Battlefield.
I don't know, FD might be laggy because it has a background.
Sure.
Let's do
Okay,
this
yeah,
one. Okay. So I'm the red one.
I'm blue.
I'm going to move the mouse.
Sorry.
Oh, the hitboxes are still visible. Let me turn those off because I don't want those on. I want this to be like a legit looking
I agree.
thing.
No side Bs though.
No side Bs, and the
Will it
down B
crash
currently
with the
does
side B?
nothing. No, it just won't do anything.
Wait, the down
And-
B does nothing?
Well, the down B, right now it's just the normal shot because I don't have hitboxes
Like
for
they
the
don't do
bigger
more
ones.
damage or anything?
No, I don't have the hitboxes for those, and I don't.
Elements, or?
You can switch elements,
They don't do
but
anything.
right. So the thing is, like, because I could have them doing their full damage, but until the actual charge stuff is in place, they're just going to be super busted.
Well, for all super best.
All right, ready?
Yep.
Begin.
Alright, I'm blue. Yeah.
You're the blue one. It is a bit laggy with 3 people.
A little bit.
Yup.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, so I was just smashing.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fix this. I don't like this lag.
That's why we do what we do.
Yeah. All right. So this isn't a very good exhibition match. How about instead you two fight so that I can have a good video to put on YouTube and to potentially share places.
I have the exit.
I hit escape. So I'm gonna back out. You two fight.
Alright, let's go.
And then you guys could go to FD if you wanted to.
Now we're good.
Okay. Nope.
What,
Nope,
did I just die twice?
you just died twice. You jumped off the top.
I don't know. Like, I thought there would never be some time before that happened. Or was that the thing you were talking about earlier?
What?
Yeah, I remember you were saying something about, you know, being instantly killed.
Yeah. So the thing is, I don't actually have the check, because in normal Smash Bros. You can only die off the top. By the way, your ledge get up works. You can just hit forward, remember? We did that last week. It took all day. But we did it last week. You also don't have a grab, so don't try that. But shields are easy to break in this game, so shields aren't super broken. Alright, final life. Yeah, that move is just barely not enough to hit somebody on the platform above you. That clash. Ooh, right on top of it. You're not going to make it back. All right.
This is not Smash 4 kind of recovery.
I have -1 life because.
Oh yeah.
But I still feel good.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
That actually doesn't count self-destructs. It's just.
Well, I mean, when we were playing stuck, but.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so I did notice something. It subtracts from your score whenever you die in stock mode, but if time isn't set, it doesn't actually give you points for killing people. But that's just cosmetic. You know who won in a stock match. But yeah, I'm actually going to do victory themes and intros later.
Oh, so like,
Also
what
sound
would it
effects?
look like?
Yeah.
Would it have 0 sprite? Like,
Well, no, yeah, so the idea is, instead of having these, like, I'm going to actually switch the thing back to...
Sure.
Alright, so like, instead of having these vertical bars that just have the stats, first it would be like a horizontal bar, like, in, like, placement orders, like first, second, third, fourth place.
Yeah.
And then they would, like, come in from the side, and then you'd have your sort of win or lose animation, and then whenever you hit the button...
It'd have all 4 character sprites.
It'd have all 4 character sprites doing their either victory pose or loss pose. Yeah. And then you hit the button, and then it clears those, and then it goes to this, so it's just like a vertical thing that'll show your stats, and you'll be able to scroll through them, because it'll track, like... Right now, it doesn't actually track anything except kills and deaths, even though it has these things for damage taken and dealt. But then I could also have things like, you know, how much you've walked, how far you flew, things like that, all those stats.
And the first one you could have a character theme playing, right?
Yeah, so it would be like victory theme, and then...
Yeah,
then it would just like voom, voom, voom. And then like in order, they would like slide in to be like... They'd quarter the screen like horizontally instead of these vertical stripes here. And then you'd hit the button, they'd go away, and then it would give you this vertical thing where you could see like the actual player order instead of the like placement.
Yeah, right.
Because this would be like first, second, third, fourth, and then this is player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4. So the player would be able to see their individual stats easily. And then that would be the idea. And, but yeah, so... What do you think? Zero's not quite as busted as he was last time we tried? Like, nobody flew off the top of the screen over and over?
We had like a real match.
I thought you meant busted as imbalanced. Well, it's like, he's got a 5-5 match against Zero as far as I can tell.
But yeah, he was playable, unlike last time. Which
I kind of wish that,
three-player battle.
Like, the lag is a huge problem, and that is my white whale. Like, I have to find a way to fix it.
Yes, make it run better on a difference.
Yeah.
On other machines and this.
Yeah.
And with more
this
players
machine.
too.
Yeah. I have to find a solution for it, but at this point,
Is the answer less frames per second in general?
Never.
It runs at 60, but you can
never
cinematic 30.
Never. All right, I think that's a good point to go.
You also blew out our viewers' ears probably because the microphone's even closer than usual. Don't forget.
I know.
Sorry,
yeah, I forgot.
Omni,
Sorry.
if you're still there.
Sorry, whoever's listening, but never less than 60 frames. What do I look like, a fucking peasant? All right.
All right.
Alrighty.
See you guys next week.
See you next week.